Hello students, myself Pallavi Jaiswal. Here in this video, we will discuss the topic basic transmission line equation. And in order to calculate basic transmission line equation in terms of voltage and current, we require simplest type of transmission line figure. Here, this is nothing but a figure of the transmission line in which this is the overall length of the transmission line, and in order to calculate for voltage and current, we took small section of the wire which is considered here as PQ. As you can see, this is overall length and PQ is a short section of the wire which is taken for the calculation purpose only, and this particular P point is taken x distance from the sending end, and the overall length of the section of the wire is dx, and the overall length of the transmission line is taken as small l, and the voltage which is taken at point P, the voltage at point P is taken as V, and the current is taken as I, which is given here. Likewise, the voltage at point Q is V plus dV, V plus dV. Likewise, the current across P point is I plus di, and there are few points which need to be considered while calculating for transmission line equation. As we know that the overall length of the short section of the wire is dx, which is very small, and in order to calculate for voltage, when we calculate voltage, so while calculating voltage we should consider current as constant, and while calculating voltage we should consider current as constant. So this particular two cases are very important while calculating for transmission line equation. And as we already discussed our equivalent circuit of transmission line, in which in series part we have inductor and resistance. Likewise, in parallel path we have conductance and capacitance, which is in parallel. So as we know that this is nothing but a IL, and this is nothing but a resistance, this is nothing but a conductance, and this is nothing but a capacitance, and this is conductance. So this is called as series impedance, and this both are called as shunt admittance. And series impedance is denoted by, and series impedance which is denoted by Z equals to R plus J omega L. This is nothing but a series impedance. And likewise, the shunt admittance which is denoted by Y, which is nothing but a G plus J omega C. This is nothing but shunt admittance. So in order to calculate voltage drop across PQ point, we should consider current as constant in this particular condition. While calculating voltage, we should consider current as constant, and while calculating current, we should consider voltage as constant in that case. So here the voltage drop across PQ is considered to be due to the current. Whatever be the voltage drop is due to the current which is traveling across this. Obviously in series part there is a series impedance present, so obviously the current flowing through the impedance which is present in series. So series impedance is present there. That's why we have taken R plus J omega L as the impedance which is traveling across that particular, the current is traveling across that series impedance which is present in the transmission line. So we should write that particular in equation like, and same condition is applicable here also. While calculating current difference between P and Q point, then in that case our voltage is responsible, and the voltage is responsible, and hence the voltage is applied in that case due to the shunt admittance, which is nothing but a, obviously here is the shunt admittance present, and that is nothing but a J omega C. So all these theoretical part we must write in equation like this. Obviously the voltage obviously the voltage across P point is V, and here is voltage at Q point is V plus dV, and hence the voltage drop is written like V minus V plus dV. And obviously voltage drop, while calculating voltage drop, the current is taken constant and the current is flowing across the series impedance, and hence the series impedance is taken as this one, R plus j omega L, and hence this is calculated for distance dx. So here we have taken dx. Here in the next page all these are written already. This is our equation, which is V plus V minus V plus dV, which is nothing but a, this is nothing but a P point and this is nothing but a Q point. That is the voltage drop equation, and the current is constant I, and which is traveling across R plus j omega L of the distance is dx. So while opening this equation we get this while opening this equation we get V minus dV, so V cancel out and we get this equation, minus dV is equals to I plus j R plus j omega L of dx. So we put this dx in this denominator, so we have the equation minus dV by dx I R plus j omega L, and we consider this as 1.1 equation. Now similarly we need to calculate the current difference between PQ point, which is nothing but a which is nothing but across the shunt admittance, which is G plus j omega C. So while calculating current difference, the voltage must be constant. So here this is nothing but a P point and this is nothing but a Q point. So we have taken I minus I plus di, and the voltage is constant in that case, and the shunt admittance is present here, G plus j omega C, as we know that G is inversely proportional to resistance. So obviously while calculating current, our this is nothing but a admittance and this is nothing but a voltage, and this equation represent our admittance part. So this is our equation, and while opening this equation, this both the i's are cancelled and we get this equation, which is minus di equals to V G plus j omega C of dx. So here we have to take this dx in denominator and we get this equation minus di by dx equals to Vg plus j omega C. This equation is considered as 1.2. Now as we can see, this equation and this equation, there are two variables are present. One is V and another one is I, and we need to find out the equation in which only single variable is need to be present. So in order to eliminate one of the variable and make it single variable in each of the equation, we should consider something. We need to eliminate this. If we take this example, so we should eliminate I here, and in order to make it a general voltage equation, and we should eliminate V here in order to make I as general equation. So for that we should what we can do here, simply first of all we have to see this equation and we have to take differentiating this equation with respect to x, and while differentiating this we get this equation. Obviously only the I term is differentiated, so we get di by dx, and here dv is already one differentiation and second differentiation is taken as d square v upon dx square. So we have this value di by dx here, so we put this value v plus g plus j omega c in this equation while differentiating. So after putting this value, we get minus d square v upon dx square equals to r plus j omega l, and obviously this value is negative, and so we have taken negative sign here, and both the sides are negative and both the negative signs are cancelled, and we get the equation d square v upon dx square r plus j omega l g plus j omega c of v. And here we have propagation constant, which is p square, which is equals to r plus j omega l into g plus j omega c. This is nothing but a complex constant, which is nothing but a propagation constant, and here we replace this with this value, and we have taken this, and which is already written here p square is nothing but a r plus j omega l plus g omega c. We replace this particular line with p square and we get this equation, which is d square v upon dx square equals to p square of v. This is nothing but a propagation constant, and we need to remember this formula for the calculation of numerical. For calculating any numerical, we should know the propagation propagation constant formula in terms of RLGC. So now we have to calculate, we have to determine for our current equation as well. So we took this equation, this is our equation, which is minus di by dx. We need to differentiate this equation with respect to the x, and after differentiating we get dv by dx, and that in dv by dx equation we put this equation. So we will do all this in next page. Here we have this equation after differentiating, and dv by dx we put, that is minus I r plus j omega l, and both the side we are having negative sign, both negative signs are cancelled out, and after that we get this equation, d square upon dx square I equals to r plus j omega l plus g plus j omega c of I, and this particular value is replaced by p square and we get this particular equation. This both the equation d square v upon dx, this particular equation, which is 1.4 and 1.6, d square v upon dx square is equals to p square of v. Likewise d square I upon dx square is equals to p square of I. This both the equations are differential equation of the wave propagation, and this equation is in differential equation, in standard differential equation form. Hence we can easily find out its solution in exponential form, and in an exponential form, when we solve directly, we get this equation, which is v as v equals to a e raised to the power minus px plus b e raised to the power px, and for I equals to c equals c into e raised to the power minus px plus d e raised to the power px. And here a, b, c, d are the simple constant in which a and b having the dimension of voltage, likewise c and d having the dimension of current, because this is voltage equation, this is current equation. Now we should elaborate this more, because we need to understand what is this exponential meaning, if it is in negative and if it is in positive. So now what we can do, here we put propagation constant, actually is a complex constant, which is alpha plus j omega beta, and alpha is nothing but a attenuation. Alpha is nothing but a attenuation. Likewise beta is nothing but a phase constant, and attenuation denoted that the whatever wave is traveling, if attenuation is present, that means that particular wave is finished there. If attenuation is present, that means there is loss of wave in that condition, and the phase constant is present, then it denoted that our wave is traveling in certain direction, depending upon the sign of the minus or plus denoted in the exponential. So here we can put p equals to alpha plus j omega and alpha plus j beta. Alpha is attenuation, beta is phase constant. Obviously here, while after putting this value in the voltage and current equation, we get this equation, and we know that e raised to the power minus alpha plus j beta, and while opening this equation we get minus alpha, and obviously when the power is added in exponential, it is actually a multiplication of that particular equation. That means if we have two exponential like this, then if the base is same, then its power must be added. So after opening this equation we get e raised to the power minus alpha and plus j beta. Likewise while opening this equation we get e raised to the power minus alpha x and e raised to the power minus j beta x. Likewise after opening this equation we get this equation. This is our first part, this is our first term, and this is our second term. Now Likewise, we calculate for current as well, after putting P equals to alpha plus J beta, and after opening this equation we get all this equation. As you can see from the equation, we have one term which is e raised to the power minus alpha x, and next one is e raised to the power minus j beta x, and here also e raised to the power alpha x, and here is the e raised to the power minus j beta x. Here both the exponential which is in imaginary term is responsible for the understanding that the wave is traveling in which direction, because actually the wave actually we have two ends. One is sending end and another one is receiving end. Sending end and another one is receiving end. So either the wave is traveling here in from sending end to receiving end, and from receiving end to sending end. So here particular negative sign of exponential, if we draw e raised to the power j e raised to the power minus jx, if we j omega t, if we need to draw this diagram. So simply we already studied this, that this is decaying exponential. So when we can see this particular diagram, so we already noticed that this is traveling from left to right direction. That means whether it is decaying, but it travel toward from left to right side, that means sending end to receiving end. And while drawing e raised to the power j omega t positive, so we need to draw like this. What it mean? When we talk about exponential positive, that means it is growing exponential. It is growing exponential, but its diagram is shown that it is traveling from receiving end to sending end. So here both this exponential is responsible for the traveling of the wave, and the first term denote that in both the first term in both voltage and current equation denote that that means the voltage is traveling toward the load end. That means it's sending end, this is the receiving end, and negative sign of exponential term shows that the wave is traveling toward the receiving end at the load end, and hence this is called as incident wave. This is called as incident wave. Okay, here when the wave is traveling from sending end to load end or receiving end, so we call it as incident wave. Likewise, when we talk about the second term, which is e raised to the power j beta x, and here also in current e raised to the power j beta x, both the term shows that the wave is traveling from load end or receiving end to sending end. So this particular when the wave is traveling from load end to sending end, that particular wave is called as reflected wave. There are two waves. If the exponential sign is negative, then we call it as incident wave. That means the wave is traveling from sending end to receiving end. And when we talk about e raised to the power positive of j beta x, in that case we call it as reflected wave, and the wave must be travel from load end to source end or sending end. Okay, this is our elaboration, and particular this equation is our differential equation of wave propagation, and this equation is nothing but a wave equation, transmission line equation in terms of voltage and current. And this particular elaboration is due to which we understand that the wave is traveling in which direction. And obviously the exponential negative shows that the wave is traveling in source to load end, and if we talk about the positive exponential, then the wave is traveling from load end to source end, and which is called as reflected wave. Now we moving on to the next topic, which is general solution of a transmission line terminated with load end. And here As we can see, a simple figure is taken for solving this general solution of a transmission line terminated with any load impedance ZR. So here this is one of the simplest example of transmission line. This is transmission line, and that particular transmission line receiving end is terminated by the load impedance ZR. Generally load impedance is denoted by ZR. Likewise, in the sending end, the voltage supply is taken as Vs and the current supply is taken as I of S, and obviously we need to uh, find out the solution of transmission line equation in terms of hyperbolic. Actually the previous solution is explaining in terms of exponential. Now we should elaborate that transmission line equation in terms of hyperbolic equation as well. So here uh, at any point x from the sending end, if we take current as I of x and voltage of V of x, then we consider that here Z0 is one of the impedance which is known as characteristic impedance. Characteristic impedance, which is generally constant for all the transmission line. This value is always taken as standard value, and this value is compared with any of the other load which is need to be taken in the transmission line solution. So as you can see, we consider this figure for the calculation purpose only, and here we have taken that ZR is not equals to Z0. Here is the condition. We understood this topic in the later part, that there is the reflection. This particular topic is understood only then we can understand what is the importance of characteristic impedance. When ZR is equals to Z0, that means whatever we send from sending end to receiving end, if our load end is terminated by ZR equals to Z0, then that means whatever we are sending is totally absorbed by our receiving end or the load end. But when we take load impedance is not equals to Z0, in that case whatever be the wave traveling from sending end to receiving end is not at all totally absorbed by the receiver. Some of the part is reflected back to the sending end, which is nothing but a problematic for the sending end, because for the proper functioning of the any of the transmission line system, we require that whatever we are sending, it totally absorbed by the load. It should not reflect back to the sending end, because it malfunction the working of the sending end. So this is the desirable condition, but most of the case this particular condition is very difficult to achieve. So this condition have need here we have taken that our load impedance is not equals to Z0. Now for understanding and for finding out the general solution in terms of hyperbolic, we have taken our basic transmission line equation, which we elaborate in terms of voltage and current in the previous topic. Here we have the equation, which is V equals to A e raised to the power minus px plus B e raised to the power px plus px, and likewise I equals to C e raised to the power minus px plus D e raised to the power plus px. And now we have the voltage drop equation as well from the basic transmission line equation, and that is minus dV by dx equals to I r plus j omega L. And here what we can do, we can have four variables A, B, C, D. So this is very complicated to solve for four variables, so we need to manipulate this equation, and for that we have taken all this solution. And first of all we have to differentiate this voltage equation in terms of dx, and after differentiating, this particular equation is equated with this equation. And first of all we have to differentiate this equation, which is this equation, and after differentiating we get this equation, and after differentiating we get this equation, and this particular equation is equated with this particular equation. Whatever dv by dx is coming is equated with this equation, and we get this equation, we get this equation, and that particular minus dv by dx is negative sign already, and after opening all this equation we get this equation, and we have to write this equation in terms of I. And after writing this equation, p a e raised to the power minus px minus b e raised to the power plus px upon r plus j omega l, and we already discussed that p, capital P, is nothing but a propagation constant, and its value is p square, obviously r plus j omega l and g plus j omega c. So we have need to take p only, so we have to take root here in this condition. So we can write here in place of p we write this equation root over r plus j omega l plus g plus j omega c, and after this we solve. Already in denominator we have r plus j omega l, and after cancel out this term we get this equation, and here z naught, which is characteristics impedance, which is having the formula root over r plus j omega l upon g plus j omega c. This is the formula, and here we can see that this is in opposite form, so we have taken 1 upon z naught. Here we have taken 1 upon z naught because our z naught is root over r plus j omega l upon g plus j omega c, and after putting all this value we get this equation. And now we have two equations which we need to focus. First equation is voltage in terms of A and B. Likewise our second equation, which is I, which is in term A and B. This is all this calculation is for that in order to reduce our constant term A, B, C, D to AB only. So we have two equation. First one is voltage equation in terms of AB, and second is current equation in terms of AB. Now as our general solution is to be explained in terms of hyperbolic, so we need to change this exponential in terms of our hyperbolic formula form. So we know this formula, cos of hyperbolic h of px is nothing but e raised to the power px plus e raised to the power minus px upon 2. Likewise sine hyperbolic of px, if we have this formula, then e raised to the power px minus e raised to the power minus px upon 2. Now if we subtract this with this, we get this equation, that means subtracting cos of hyperbolic px minus sine of hyperbolic px, then we get e raised to the power minus px. So we replace e raised to the power minus px with this value. Likewise when we add cos of hyperbolic with sine, here when we add cos of hyperbolic with sine of hyperbolic, we get e raised to the power plus px. So we should put e raised to the power minus px of cos of hyperbolic px minus of sine of hyperbolic px, and in place of plus we put this equation in the voltage and current equation, and we have this voltage equation v equals to a e raised to the power minus px plus b e raised to the power plus px, and in place of e raised to the power minus px we should take that formula, which is cos of hyperbolic px minus sine of hyperbolic px. Likewise we have the formula for e raised to the power plus px, which is cos of hyperbolic px plus sine of hyperbolic px. And after solving and after elaborating common, cos of hyperbolic taken as common, then we have a plus b, and when taken sine of hyperbolic px we have taken a minus b. Likewise while putting all this exponential value in this equation, we get, after putting in current equation as well, we get this equation I equals to 1 upon z naught cos of hyperbolic px a minus b minus sine of hyperbolic px a plus b. Now we should take some conditions in order to find for general solution. So the condition is that obviously here from the figure the x value is here is x equals to 0. obviously this is a sending end. Here the voltage is Vs and the current is I of s, and the distance Ix is nothing but a 0. Obviously यहाँ this particular value is started which is x equals to 0, and here is the distance which is the x equals to some value. So we have taken this condition, and the voltage in sending end is Vs and the current is I of s, and that particular sending end point is x equals to 0. So we have taken x equals to 0. In that case, obviously upon we have the cos expression as cos of hyperbolic px, and after putting x equals to 0, obviously cos 0 is 1, so we have taken 1, and sine of hyperbolic px. So in order to have sine value, sine 0 is nothing but a sine value is also a 0 term. Here this is a wrong, this is nothing but a 0 term, this is 0. So now as already we discussed, x equals to 0 and v equals to vs and I equals to I of s, and after putting this condition in this equation and this equation of voltage and current, we get this equation Vs equals to A plus B and Is equals to A minus B upon Z naught. And this particular Vs and Is value, we should put all these value in this equation of voltage and current, and after putting all this value we get this equation. In place of A plus B, here we put V of s. Likewise in place of A minus B we put Is into Z naught. So after putting all this value we get this equation. We get this equation V equals to Vs cos of hyperbolic Px minus I of s Z naught sine of hyperbolic. Likewise I equals to I of s cos of hyperbolic Px minus Vs upon Z naught sine of hyperbolic Px. This is the general equation, general solution of a transmission line terminated with any load impedance Zr. And this both the equation whatever we solve here, this particular equation shows our general equation for voltage and current at a point distance x from the sending end in terms of particular voltage and current impedance, characteristic impedance Z naught. This particular equation, which is voltage and current, is used for calculating the input impedance of any transmission terminating line. Thank you.